we pledge ourselves to fulfill the promise expected of us, not only by Her Majesty, but by all the nations of the world, to show how our small community, with its people drawn from many lands, of diverse racial origins, and subscribing to a variety of religious beliefs, can, in harmonious cooperation, make its contribution to the sum total of world peace, world progress, and world happiness.
As the night follows day on independence, you tend to become a member of the United Nations. It was the thing to do. It would have seemed very strange if you didn't seek to be a member of the United Nations. And in fact, it gives you a role on the world stage and gives you access to many other countries with which you would not have direct diplomatic or other ties, but you get to know them and be associated with them through the UN. So it's a very useful means of making all the necessary contacts with countries all around the world.
And so the government of the newly independent Trinidad and Tobago, under the leadership of Dr. Eric Williams, sought official representation at the United Nations, and on the 18th September 1962 became a member of this global association of governments, which facilitates cooperation in international law, security, economic development and social equity, the United Nations. The United Nations Information Center and the Technical Assistance Board, the precursor of the United Nations Development Program, established offices in Trinidad and Tobago in 1961.
At a cocoa conference held at Hilton Hotel, the Prime Minister welcomed about 100 delegates from 20 countries. The conference, under the sponsorship of the United Nations Food and Agricultural Organization, aimed at stabilizing the price of cocoa. This was the first international conference held in Trinidad since its independence.
When Trinidad and Tobago became independent, it required expertise in a number of areas. And the United Nations was in a position precisely through its specialized agencies, its network of agencies, programs and funds to provide a lot of assistance to Trinidad and Tobago. For example, things like public administration, tax administration, rural development, physical planning was some of the programs that were undertaken. With the assistance of the specialized agencies like UNESCO, a lot of work was done in the area of education planning, textbook production. We look at the area of health. The World Health Organization gave assistance in the area of public health. The International Civil Aviation Organization gave assistance to establish in Trinidad and Tobago a school to be able to train air traffic controllers. These are just some of the examples. The list is quite long. I think perhaps a very important one that should be mentioned is the assistance that was given by the United Nations, even before, just a little bit before independence, in funding a program to train engineers at St. Augustine, at the UE, Faculty of Engineering in St. Augustine. So these are some of the areas in which the United Nations was able to be of great assistance in the early days of the independence of Trinidad and Tobago.
From the early post-colonial era and into the new millennium, the government of Trinidad and Tobago has benefited from and contributed to the United Nations.
Trinidad and Tobago was a member of the Security Council. It played a leadership role in the Special Committee on the Implementation of Decolonization, as well as the Special Committee Against Apartheid. Trinidad and Tobago also reintroduced the debate on the establishment of an international criminal court, and the court, as you know, has now been established as an independent entity.
I am Angela Cropper, Deputy Executive Director of the United Nations Environment Programme, also popularly known as UNEP. I come from Trinidad and Tobago, a very, very tiny country, and so I am privileged, I think, to be able to be part of this global enterprise and to be able to contribute to UNEP in the programmatic, management, leadership, political, and diplomatic aspects of its work.